confessed. My future ex-wife and I had gotten as far as the usual drawing up of rotisserie league baby name rosters, but no further. Did I need to put an immediate halt to these playful conversations, along with any more earnest ones that might arise? She was a poet, with ambitions of her own. Poe, he said, O'Connor, Welty, none of them had children. This was a list that, by implication, included him. He was a Southerner himself, and he and his beloved dedicatee were childless, too. Chekhov, Beckett, Woolf. I tried to muster some counterexamples, but alas, the one who came immediately to mind was my current idol, John Cheever, packed into a house in Ossining with his aggrieved wife and 3 children. I had just been reading the memoirs of his daughter, Susan. Her childhood had been quietly calamitous. Her father's career a farrago of alcoholism, shame, and secret homosexuality. The short stories had over time come unbuttoned. The novels proceeding with the sham dignity and slow gait of drunks trying to pass for sober, while the children alternated between hoping desperately to be seen and trying to keep out of the way. It was at least arguable, I guessed, that the man ought never to have had children at all. I wondered how Susan Cheever would feel about that proposition. Put it this way, Michael, the great man said, and then he sketched out the brutal logic. Writing was a practice. The more you wrote, the better a writer you became, and the more books you produced. Excellence plus productivity. That was the formula for sustained success, and time was the coefficient of both. Children, the great man said, were notorious thieves of time. Then there was the question of subject matter, settings, experiences. Books were hungry things, and if you stayed too long in any one place, they would consume everything and everyone around you. You needed to keep moving. Always onward, a literary Maasai driving your ravenous herd of novels. Travel, therefore, was a must, and I should take his word for it because he had made a careful study. Traveling with children was the world's biggest pain in the ass. Anyway, writers were restless folk. They could not thrive without being able to pick up and go wherever and whenever it suited them. Writers needed to be irresponsible, ultimately, to everything but the writing, free of commitments to everything but the daily word count. Children, by contrast, needed stability, consistency, routine, and above all, commitment. In short, he was saying, children are the opposite of writing. Thomas Mann? I tried. I had been racking my brain to think of a great writer who was a family man, but not calamitously so, like Cheever. My enthusiasm for Mann had faded of late, but I would never forget the rapture of the summer I had spent 5 years earlier climbing the Magic Mountain. Thomas Mann, the great man said. He grinned. I had walked right into his trap. Thomas Mann used to lock himself in his room every day for hours. His children were forbidden to disturb him on pain of death, and that's barely an exaggeration. His children were a disturbance to him. When he was working, they were a source of pain. I mean, forget the question of getting your work done. Is that the kind of father you want to be? That was an easy one to answer. I knew, without ever having discussed it with my future ex-wife or anyone, the kind of father I wanted to be. Unlike my own father, I would be around for my children whenever they needed me, over breakfast, doing homework, when they learned to swim, to cook, to ride a bicycle, when they cried into their pillows. I would be present in my children's lives. In short, my door would always be open to them. Until now, it had never occurred to me that this ambition might be incompatible with the practice.